Find the derivatives of the given functions. All of these functions can be derived using the power rule. We might have to rewrite the expression before differentiating it. The power form is x to the n power. If we have x to the n power, then its derivative is we bring down n, rewrite x, and then we lower the power by 1. This will be derivative of x to the n. If it is not in the form the variable raised to a power, then we cannot use the power rule, not yet, unless we can rewrite it in this form. For part A, x to the negative 12 is already in the power form, so derivative y prime is bring down negative 12, rewrite the variable x, and lower negative 12 by 1, meaning take negative 12 and subtract 1. This is negative 12 x to the negative 13. So y prime is negative 12 times x to the negative 13. We will not need to rewrite it in the form y prime equals negative 12 over x to the 13 power because the given expression is in negative power. In some cases, we might have to do this. For part B, x to the 3.2 is already in the power form, so y prime equals 3.2 times x, 3.2 minus 1. Again, we lower the power by 1. Y prime is 3.2 x to the 2.2, and we are done. For part C, again, x to the 4/3 is in the power form, and so y prime equals 4 over 3x, and then we take 4/3 minus 1. This is y prime equals 4/3 x. 4/3 minus 1 is now 1/3. And for part D, 1 over x to the 4th is not in the power form, not yet, so we need to rewrite this. This is not derivative, but it is y. 1 over x to the 4th is x to the negative 4th using the exponential rule. This is y equals negative 4x, and we lower the power by 1. But this is y prime. And so y prime equals negative 4x to the negative 5. If we rewrite it, y prime equals negative 4 over x to the 5th. And in this case, we will need to rewrite it in the positive power because the original problem, they give us positive power as opposed to part A here. Next, all of these derivatives from part E to part H, we will use the power rule, but first we will need to rewrite them first. For part E, we rewrite this as y equals x to the negative 7 over 2. If the power is positive in the denominator, we can bring it to the numerator and switch the sign. In this case, we switch positive to negative sign, and it is now in the power form. Y prime equals negative 7 over 2, x to the power negative 7 over 2 minus 1. This is y prime equals negative 7 over 2 x. Negative 7 over 2 minus 1 is the same as minus 2 over 2. And so we have negative 7 over 2 minus 2 over 2, which is negative 9 over 2. And so the answer is y prime equals negative 7 over 2. Since they give us positive power, we will need to rewrite this in positive power. X to the negative 9 over 2 is now in the numerator, so we bring it down to the denominator and make the power positive. For part F, the square root of x can be rewritten as x to the power 1/2. Then y prime equals 1 over 2x, and we lower 1/2 by 1, so this is 1/2 minus 1 or negative 1/2. We rewrite this as y prime equals 1 over 2x to the 1/2. But since the original problem was given in the radical form. We will put this fraction power in radical form. And so y primed equals 1 over 2 root x, because x to the 1/2 power is the square root of x. For y equals the cube root of x, we rewrite this as x to the 1 over 3 power. And so we change the radical form to fractional power. Then y prime equals 1/3 x. 1/3 minus 1 is 1/3 minus 3 over 3, which is minus 2 over 3. Y prime equals 1 over 3 x. We bring this down to the denominator and make the power positive. And again, since the original problem were given in radical form, we need to put this in the radical form as well. So y prime equals 1 over 3 cube root x squared. And lastly, for part h, first we will need to rewrite this as y equals the square root of 1 over the square root of x cubed. But the square root of 1 is 1 over the square root of x cubed is x, 3 over 2. Remember that the square root is the principal root, which is the second root. That's why the number in the denominator is 2. But this is not quite in the power form yet. We still need to rewrite this. This is not derivative, but y still. Y equals x to the negative 3 over 2, because this fractional power is positive in the denominator. So we bring it to the numerator and make the power negative. Now that is it in power form, we can use the power rule. Y primed equals negative 3 over 2 x, and then we lower negative 3 over 2 by 1. We take negative 3 over 2 minus 1. This is y primed equals negative 3 over 2 x. Negative 3 over 2 minus 1, which is negative 3 over 2 minus 2 over 2, which is negative 5 over 2. Rewriting this, we have y prime equals negative 3 over 2, and then we bring down x to the negative 5 over 2, now becomes x to the positive 5 over 2 in the denominator. This is negative 3 over 2, the square root of x to the 5th.